December 16th, 2025. An unexpected accident happened near the railway crossing on the Haridwar-Rishikesh Road in northern India. This video shows a group of 4 people in an SUV overspeeding way past the speed limit. This creates a life-threatening position for all 4. The man on the passenger side isn't sitting properly, which should never be done when traveling in a car. What happens next is shocking. Four people were killed instantly in a tragic road accident on the Rishikesh Haridwar Highway late on Tuesday night after a speeding SUV rammed into a stationary truck. The incident took place near the Mansa Devi railway crossing in Haridwar. According to police, a Mahindra XUV 500 traveling at high speed from Haridwar towards Rishikesh crashed into the rear of a parked truck with such force that the SUV was completely crushed and became wedged underneath the larger vehicle. This is an important reminder to stay in the speed limit and avoid sitting in positions that could be life-threatening. May 21st, 2009. This fatal accident happened in the middle of the Olympic Bridge in Seoul, Korea. This accident was unexpected and should have been planned properly, as this task is not for everyone. This video shows a helicopter carrying the Olympic flame, and what happens next is shocking.
헬기가 엉킨 케이블을 풀려고 기술을 낮추는 순간 프로펠러가 조형물과 부딪히고 맙니다. 순식간에 곤두박질 치는 헬기, 몸체와 프로펠러가 분리돼 나갔습니다. 몸체가 산산조각이 나면서 승무원 한 명이 튕겨져 나와 헬기와 같이 추락합니다.
After releasing an Olympic flame sculpture slung low on top of the single pylon of the Olympic Bridge, the helicopter settled, resulting in the outer right part of the front rotor cone striking the top of the flame sculpture. The rotor was damaged, with imbalance causing the front transmission and pylon to depart the aircraft, which then rolled left before impacting and sliding down the bridge's deck suspension components to the bridge deck. It then burst into flames and the cockpit section broke away, falling into and sinking in the Han River. Warrant Officer pilots Chun Hong Yop, aircraft commander, and Nam In Ho, co-pilot, were killed, along with crewman SGD First Class Kim Woo-soo. July 21st, 2025. A scary accident happened in the northwestern part of England. What happens next will scare you. A double-decker bus collided with the Bridgewater Canal Aqueduct on Barton Lane in Ecclesiastes. It is believed that the bus had come off its normal expected route. The driver failed to comply with height restriction warnings, including hanging chains and signage, and collides with a low-level aqueduct. As a result, the top level of the bus is torn off and causes a member of the public to be ejected from the top deck of the bus. 3 people, a 19-year-old female and 2 men, one in his 20s and another in his 40s, sustained serious injury and remain in hospital in a stable condition. 17 other casualties were also treated at the scene for injuries that are described as non-life-threatening or life-changing. The driver of the bus, a man in his 50s, was arrested on suspicion of causing serious injury by careless driving and has since been bailed pending further investigations. February 7th, 2026. A horrific accident happened on the southern part of New Delhi, India. What happens next will shock you. A police officer was killed and several people were injured after a swing collapsed at the Surajkund Mela in Haryana's Faridabad on Saturday. Faridabad Deputy Commissioner Ayush Sinha said the incident happened at around 6:15 p.m. when the swing suddenly tilted and collapsed while people were on it. Among the victims was a police inspector who died while trying to save others. A police inspector was declared brought dead. He had tried to save people when the joyride began tilting, but a part of the ride hit him in the face and head. Around 13 people were injured and have been rushed to the hospital. Others are under treatment, Sinha said. January 15th, 2026. A scary highway accident happened on an elevated highway near Bangkok, Thailand. Watch what happens next. A construction crane collapsed onto an elevated road near Bangkok, killing 2 people on Thursday, a day after another crane fell on a moving passenger train in northeastern Thailand and killed 32 people. The work on extension of the Rama 2 Road Expressway, a major artery leading from Bangkok, has become notorious for construction accidents, some of them fatal. The crane collapsed at part of the road project in Samut Sakhon province, trapping 2 vehicles in wreckage, according to the government's public relations department. Transport Minister Phiphat Ratchakit Prakarn said on Thai TV Channel 7 that 2 people had died. It was unclear if anyone else had been trapped in the wreckage. There was uncertainty about the number of victims because the site is still considered too dangerous for search team to enter, said Sachart Tomting, a rescue worker with the Rongkatinu Foundation. January 7th, 2026, at approximately 1:20 p.m. local time, an incident occurred in a Shotley Park, Prem, Russia. Watch what happens next.
Я там Джеймс Бонд прилетел на вертолете, моя уже сколько кругов дает над дождями. Ёб твою мать! Ёб твою мать! Охуеть! Ёб твою мать! Разбился!
This incident involved Ilyas Jimadutdinov, who was 41 years old and a man who had everything. He was a founder of Tatranscom, a logistics empire worth over $37 million. His company didn't just move goods. They were the backbone for Russian energy giants like Gazprom and Rosneft. Along with him was 40-year-old Elmer Konnikov, the director of his company's motor convoy. They were men used to being in charge of massive machines. They were in a Robinson R-44 helicopter, flying over the snow-covered slopes of the Bardamsky district. What the pilot didn't see, and what almost no one sees from a cockpit against the white glare of the snow, were cables. A Shotley Park features several zip lines and ski lift wires stretched across the valley. These steel lines are thin, unlit, and at 1:20 p.m., they became a deadly trap. As the R-44 attempted a low-altitude takeoff maneuver, its main rotor snagged. In a helicopter, the rotors are everything. The moment they hit the high-tension steel zipline, the aircraft will most likely crash. The blades, still spinning with thousands of pounds of force, became entangled in the wire. The helicopter was yanked toward the ground as if it was nothing. The impact was catastrophic. The R-44 slammed into the frozen grounds near the Pechman village. There was no massive explosion, just the sound of metal clashing against the snow. Rescue teams from the Ministry of Emergency Situations rushed to the site, but there was nothing to be done. Both Ilyas and Elmer unfortunately died at the scene. A millionaire who spent his life managing thousands of transport vehicles was brought down by a single stationary wire. The resort closed its doors that day, leaving a haunting memory bystanders will never forget.